You want to talk more when we've been talking a lot.
No, I just want to explain the sequence. I think if we start off with the trauma because I was a child, only because we're telling, I'm saying the story we're telling, I still feel that influenced why I talk.
Why you talk about what, darling? Tell me. Hell is all this hand motions. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome, 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 everyone. Sitting here with my people today. And, I like to bring people on the show and we talk about their life, things that they've experienced, what they've done, where they've been, all of the millions of dollars that they made in the game. We're going to have some of those. I got a couple of hustlers coming to the show. But today I brought a dear friend. And I thought this would be part of our international correspondence. Because you are initially from where?
I was born in England.
An English woman.
With a Caribbean background.
So she knows how to make tea and oxtails. She's good at both of those things. Okay. You came to the United States when you were how old?
I came when I was around 11.
Did you like being here?
It was different. I grew up in a white neighborhood with white people and went to white school.
Do you like white people?
I'm just saying it was a different contrast. Imagine your world and you come to the South Bronx. I moved to the South Bronx and and being around so many black people was a different experience.
What do you mean by different experience?
Meaning that it was a culture shock because they weren't used to seeing British people, so I had to address the language, culture, style.
Did you adjust well?
It took a moment. Like I didn't know your mama so fat jokes and people.
Oh, they don't do that in
No,
England?
we don't do that.
Y'all don't snap on each other's mama?
No. And then for a moment, I went through the trivial being bullied until I learned how to speak up for myself. So, and then I learned I was called the N-word, and that was a new experience.
So in England, they don't use?
We have other words. So.
Other words for black people?
For the N-word.
In England, it's a different word?
Yes.
What is it?
It's been so long, but it's not, we didn't use the N-word. I never heard the N-word before.
Like bully or coolie? Or...
If someone can leave it in the, write it down if you heard the word, but it's been a very long time. But we didn't use the N-word. So the first time a black person called me the N-word and I didn't know. And I'm a bookworm, so I looked it up. And I said, oh, I'm an ignorant person. Because back in the day, the dictionary said, that is ignorant person. And I was like, but I'm smart. How the hell are you calling me ignorant?
But we use that as a term of endearment.
Back then, like
even
I
back
said.
then. Back in the day, they used to say, you'll still be my nigga if you don't get no bigger.
This was the 80s, the early 80s. And I went to a Catholic school, so we wasn't saying you my nigga, my nigga. We wasn't. So, but I felt more black than I did in England. In England, no one pointed at me that I looked different from everyone. It's like when I came to America, I really felt being black.
Did you like it? Did you like the feeling of really being black? You really felt it for the first time. Did you feel the power of being black?
No.
So what were you realizing about your black?
In the sense of it was that this was the first time that I was made aware that I was dark. I never thought about it. It's like, it was like you're so dark. Like I heard the dark jokes and I never understood them. Like, why are you talking about my blackness? I love being chocolate, dark chocolate. So it was a little hard. Because, as I said, I thought black is beautiful. And then for my peers making that I'm dark and make dark jokes. But now I'm an adult, I understand that anything you have, someone's gonna make a joke. You fat, skinny, short, tall, or whatever. But I never went through that due to the color of my skin. So it was a different experience.
Talk to me. Talk to me. We right here, we talking. Talk to me. What's going on?
Well, you wanted to know how my experiences were with,
with dating,
right,
relationships.
right.
What was your expectation as a young person? Maybe say we start probably establishing some of those ideas around 9 or 10, like what we want to do and what we want to be. Did you have it in your forecast to think you wanted to be a wife or a mother or anything like that?
I did. I mean, what most girls want to be a wife, but I wanted to be a doctor or a nurse because my mom was a nurse. But I wanted a family too. So my goal was to go to school. Let's keep it for real. I wanted to go to school because I figured that my husband would want a smart wife. Like I felt my smarts was going for me. I was an average looking girl. So I figured that my intelligence would be attractive to men.
Okay, so you put your let me be intelligent. I'm an average looking girl. Let me be intelligent,
Right.
And that would attract a husband.
Right.
How did that work out?
Of course, I'm not married. So what do you think? It didn't work.
So what might have been a better course of action?
I mean, of course, a better course was to, try to be a wife and have wifely things to do. But
did you develop wifely skills? You know what those are, right?
Why don't you tell me, what are wifely skills?
This is amazing. Pay attention. Don't go here. You're a lady. You're a lady. A lady that says she's intelligent, right? So this is an example of showing your intelligence to the world.
Right.
What are the wifely responsibilities?
Right. Wifely responsibilities. Oh God, I'm laughing and it's
run it down real quick. I know you know them. I know you all you women know what those responsibilities are. What are they? Run them down.
What? Cook, clean, take care of our children, bear your children, take care of our children, take care of our household, and anything else that you want as my husband.
You see how simple that is? All of y'all women know this lesson right here. And what about your mouth? What's supposed to happen with that?
Oh, we going there.
Yeah, we got to ask. That's one of the things you guys be asking. Do women know what you want? This is a woman. She just ran down a good list. Do we want y'all to talk a lot?
The average man, no.
See, they all know. So you were thinking that the intelligence was going to lead you to this wonderful husband. It didn't work out that way. But you obviously dated people.
Right, but to be honest, I'm saying that we all cook and clean as individuals.
Yes.
And even if I had those skills, I still would have to relearn those skills when I have my husband.
Why would you have to relearn them?
Because I want to adapt to my husband's needs and wants.
What? This is she's English, see? She's English. She ain't really American. That's why we getting these type of answers.
Oh. And Caribbean too.
And Caribbean. They say Caribbean women cook, they clean, they handle business in other ways too.
But at the same token, I wanted to have skills so we can have a 2-income family. I think the problem is that.
So you were willing to work and bear the children.
Right.
Go ahead with your bad self.
Right. See, for me, my lesson when I was growing up, I noticed that when you could be a wife, but let's say something happened to my husband, do I have skills to help out? That happened to a friend. Her husband fell off the
I can't
roof.
understand why you're not married with 5 kids. Is this new thinking, or have you always thought like this?
I'm older now, so.
This is advice you would give to the younger you.
Yes.
What exactly is the advice? Run it down.
That I should have looked for my husband earlier. I thought that I could find him when I got older and when I graduated from college. But I realize now I could have had it both. A lot of women are mothers first and their children grow and they can have their career after the fact.
So the advice would be to get your man while you're young and
if
go
you're
ahead
able to.
if you're able to, and go ahead and have a family.
Because it'd be more fulfilling. You have your children, have your career, and you have your husband.
You had a full package. This is good advice. You should absolutely follow this advice in the future. Anybody who's listening, ladies especially. But beyond that, what else was happening? You lived in Jamaica?
No.
Never lived in Jamaica?
No, I grew up in England.
Grew up in England.
With Jamaican parents.
Were your parents strict?
Yes.
Really strict? Your mom was a strict one?
Yes. My mom was strict. And my parents separated when I was around 12.
So they separated when you was around 12. Things changed, obviously.
Right.
How?
It came down to my father wanted to live in England, my mother wanted to live here, and other things that happened between the two of them. So.
How did it change for you?
Well, I was a daddy's girl. So I wanted to stay here because this is the fun country. And my dad wanted to go back. He said he wanted to come back, which he did. He came back a second time, but America wasn't for him. And then also my mother had cancer. So as a child, I grew up with a parent that had cancer. And my parents is separated. So, and then also around that time, I was molested. So.
Here in the United States?
Yeah. Around the time when my parents separated when I was 12, a family friend molested me.
You got to explain just a little bit. He was a family friend, so
this was my mother's best friend. My mom would, I was a latchkey kid. So there were times where my mom, because her best friend lived right around the corner from us, she would let me stay at her house. And one particular day, her friend's husband decided to kiss me and fondle me while he touched my breast.
And you were, what, 12?
Yeah,
wow.
12.
That was definitely traumatic for a 12-year-old. This is a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell your mom about it?
No.
Why didn't you tell your mom?
At the time, as I said, I was a daddy's girl. So I wasn't as close to my mom as I was to my dad. And plus, I felt like I did something wrong. And that was her best friend. So I didn't want to cause drama, so I didn't say anything.
Now, did you continue to go over there after that happened?
Yes, I did.
Did he continue to touch you?
I really don't want to talk about it. It's like a lot happened during that whole time that I just try not to dwell on it.
Wow, so. Did anybody else in the house touch you? You just don't want to go there. I'm so
stressed. It's like that whole time period, I think because of what was going on, I just suppressed that. I just really don't think about it that much.
Okay, but I guess you stopped going over there eventually, right?
Yeah, we moved.
You moved. Okay, that was great to get you out of that situation. Mm-hmm. And how was moving to the new place?
It was fine. And I kind of didn't dwell on what happened. I think it kind of triggered off the other experience I had when I was younger. when I was around 6. I went to my cousin's house, and they were older than us by 10. So I'm 6, and they might be between 13 and 17. And I'm an only child. So, I'm used to playing with my cousins and everything. And they decided to play this game under the sheet. You were under the sheet, and they started.
I remember something like that.
Yeah, touching you up. And that was like the first time that I didn't know what was going on. And I kind of blocked that out too. They told me that I started screaming, and that my mother came, and she was upset. And after that, I wasn't allowed to go to anyone's house.
Those were your cousins, though?
Yeah. So
that's good. Mom stepped in and had intervention right away.
That's why I know that if I had told her what happened, she would have busted everybody up.
But she stopped you from going over there with your cousins because they obviously did something to you in their under the cover game.
Right. And that's why I feel bad that when it happened the second time, I didn't say anything because I knew she would have took care of it, but I didn't. And also, I think we kind of, it's a stereotype, but it's like men touch girls. So it's like, I know I'm not the only person who went through something that a family member or friend had touched them when they were young. That's
always something. Why is it always some man in the family? Somebody that's related to the woman that's doing some of these vile acts is crazy.
So I was always told, don't sit on someone's lap, just be mindful. And then I think in some families, they be like, don't go next to Uncle George because Uncle George got sticky fingers.
Wow. So, but y'all out of there, y'all in a new location.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to school, right?
Yeah, now when I moved, I might have been in 7th grade because my school went from 1 to 8. Okay. And then, like I said, I was a late bloomer. Like, I didn't really have a boyfriend because remember, Mom, you're strict. So I couldn't really hang out like school to home. And I would do my homework and all that stuff. So I would have to kind of not sneak, but it's like if I go to someone's house, you might,
were you going to girlfriends' houses?
No, the only person's house I was allowed to go to was my godmother's house.
Okay. So when you would sneak.
I shouldn't say sneak. When I went to my godmother's house, we would be outside. So I would meet people outside when I was at my godmother's house. But other than that, if I was at my godmother's house, my ass had to be in the house.
And so you didn't really go to any of your friends' houses?
No.
Well, at some point you probably did. How old were you then when you went to a friend's house?
You mean to visit or to spend the night?
Just to visit.
I mean, I did that.
Like after school, kids.
After school, like we would go, like, I stay half an hour. Like when we walked home, I would stop at someone's house, we chill out in there, but I had to be home by a certain time. I was a latchkey kid, so I could get away with it to a certain extent. Because remember, you had house phones. So I had to be home by a certain time when my mother would call to check up on me.
See, make sure your butt was in the house at that time.
Yeah, but I was living on the phone. So while everyone was outside playing around, I'll be on the phone talking to my friends, boys or girls. So
boys, you're bringing boys up. You by this time you're talking to boys, so you must have a young man that you sweet on at this time. One of them guys you was talking to on the line. What's his name? Ricky?
No.
What is his name? Do y'all want to know his name? What's this guy? This is the first guy. How old are you now?
Okay. So let's see. I haven't gone to high school yet. So let's just say I'm maybe around 14. Okay.
14.
Right. You talk to boys, but remember now, I'm also into my music because I was playing the violin and also my books. So, and I had crushes. So, but the first person I talked to, his name was Greg.
G Money.
So, I mean, it wasn't a big to do. It was just, we go out, talk, and stuff like that.
Did y'all make out?
A little bit. But that relationship kind of ended when my mom found out about it. So my mom found out and she was upset. And at the same token, he got sent away down south. So it ended for us.
So then you just hung out with your girls after that.
Remember, I can't go outside. Now we're going to high school.
Yeah.
Now, when we go to high school now, I mean, again, it's school and home, home and school. I mean, you have our little adventures, but I never had no steady boyfriend, someone I talked to and stuff like that. So, and I was just doing, light petting and stuff like that. Remember, my mom was like, you need to graduate and do these books. So, and then she'll threaten me like, I'll send you back to England. So I didn't want to go.
You didn't want to go. You like being over here.
And then I didn't have my green card, so I had to be careful on what I did outside. So.
Oh, you still in the process of getting your papers and all of that stuff for over here. So you're in high school, a whole high school, no serious boyfriend? Did you go out on dates in high school?
Not remember, I couldn't go anywhere. The only time I was allowed to go is if I went to my godmother's house.
So you're 18 with no dates. Right?
Senior year, I finally met someone through my god sister.
He was going to the school?
No, he graduated. He was older than me. And not that much. He was had me by 2 years. So he had his own place, car, and working.
Own place, own car, and working, and he's interested in you. This seems like he's a catch.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So, and so he was gonna take me to prom. Okay. So, like I said, I felt that my friends, it was all about going to college. So it was like if my friends were dating, they didn't really talk about it. Everyone was doing their own thing. And then, like I said, I was about my books. So I figured if I graduate, then my mom couldn't get on me because I didn't want to be an unwed mom.
So you got Stud Muffin with the car, the apartment, and you got a prom date. And you know what they say happens on prom night.
Which did not happen for me. So he stood me up for prom.
He stood you up?
Yeah.
So he didn't call, or he didn't say he was hurt in the accident? Or
no. Prom night was... My mom worked all the time, so I was shocked that she was home for prom. So prom was prom from hell. So got my hair done. It rained, so she had to do my hair over. Went to pick up my dress the week before. Didn't do it the way I liked it. So him not calling me, because he called me and he said everything was fine. When prom that night came, no call, no nothing. I was disappointed, but at the same token, I just felt like it was the icing on the cake. So I did go to prom because it was my prom.
So you went without him?
Yes.
Get that. I got my dress and stuff. I would show up anyway.
I took pictures and everything. So I went to prom and no one noticed because, like I said, prom is hell. Somebody got stood up. I know she got dumped by her boyfriend at prom. So, mine was nothing compared to that.
But they didn't know this guy. It wasn't like he was going to the school.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't like I was caught up. So it's like no one really noticed that I was by myself. So after prom, he called me and he apologized. And he explained the situation, and I said to him, you could have just told me. Because I think...
What did he explain was the situation?
He said it was a financial thing, but I'm like, but if you had talked to me, we could have worked it out. But he was scared to disappoint me, but at the end of the day, you did. So he said he didn't want to tell me, but as you can see, if he had told me, we could have worked it out.
So what happened after high school?
Well, after high school, I was going to go to college and I had to take a 1 year break. So now I'm working in the city. And now that I have a little bit more freedom, I'm now able to meet more people. So I met this guy, and
What's this guy's name?
I'm sorry. I'm just nervous. I'm naming names. So I just prefer to name him as.
This is his first name. So he'll know. He'll know what this is about. Just his first name.
Mm-hmm. We'll call him Jay.
So you met Jay.
Right. I met Jay. And, it was more like a casual thing. And we started talking. And then when we've done different things, but we had like a park date. And I got to do things out of my comfort zone. When I mean comfort zone, meaning that we.
You had a date in the park.
Right.
Okay. Had some chips, some sandwiches, something to drink, a radio.
And then I decided to do things out of the box, meaning that we played around in the park.
So y'all kissed and made out?
Yes, we kissed and made out in the park.
Just kissed and made out, or was it more explicit than kissing and making out? I'm just curious.
Right. We did different things.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We don't have to go into detail.
Yeah, we don't have to. We'll let our imaginations run wild with that. So after the park scenes, you're no longer a virgin?
No. I'm still.
After the park incidents, you're a technical virgin?
Yes, I'm a technical virgin.
You're going to have to explain what that means.
Okay, a technical virgin is someone who, yes, I'm committed to be a virgin when I got married, which will be vaginal, which is intercourse. But I was willing to try other things like kissing, petting, masturbation, oral only. I wouldn't do oral for a guy because I felt that should be saved for my marriage too.
So guys would do oral to you, but you wasn't giving it back.
Right, but I made sure to explain why I wasn't giving it back.
Because you were saving the lips for your husband.
Right. So, and it wasn't like I never asked. It's like it was always offered. So I don't, how some people like that's selfish. No, because I'm like, if you're gonna give, you're gonna receive. And there's men who don't like to give oral to women, but they like to receive.
How long were you and Jay in a relationship?
It was the summertime. So this is like really.
So it was a fling.
Yeah, the first summer after high school. So it was like, okay, I'm older now. Let me just see how it was. And it didn't really work out the way I wanted it to be.
So you dated for like the summer period?
Yeah, it was like a summer fling, like you said.
After, what, y'all just broke it off, or it just ended?
You just stopped calling. He ghosts me. Even though that's today's word, but he ghosts me.
Okay, he started disappearing, not taking your calls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, I get that.
But it was an experience, so.
So you're still working in the city?
Right.
You've moved on from Jay?
Yeah, and then I moved to Yonkers. So now I'm living in Yonkers and still working in the city. And
that's a commute.
Yeah. And I was working at 34th Street. And now I met the person who popped my cherry.
Okay, so you met him. Handsome gentleman, I'm sure.
Right. And I thought he was the one. Well,
you thought he was the one. You thought this is the guy you're going to marry.
The one because I really liked the guy who took me to prom, but I said I need to move on. And I believed in the house with the picket fence and the 2-point kid. So I thought that, we had a chance to do this. I liked him.
He liked you too, obviously.
Yes.
Right? Now,
I thought he had potential to be a future husband.
He lived in Yonkers?
No, he lived in Brooklyn.
Okay, so he's I guess he's traveling up, coming, getting you, taking you out to dinner. How was that working out?
Well, when he found out that I lived in Yonkers, his attitude was, well, I'm not traveling to Yonkers unless, you drop the panties. Because I haven't dropped the panties yet, but he's like, that's a long commute. So I'm like, okay, if you don't want to come to me, I'll go to you. So I traveled from Yonkers all the way to Brooklyn.
That was the first time you went out there. Then y'all went out?
I went out there a few times. Like, we were supposed to go out and hang out. It wasn't so much to get caught up in his house. We were supposed to go to movies. We were supposed to go out. But when we were supposed to go out on our first official date, he had got something on his shirt. So we decided to go to his house to get a new shirt. And that's when I met at the time I didn't know, his baby mama.
So what, he didn't tell you he had children and a girlfriend?
No. He implied he was single. Like, we talked, and as I said, sometimes we don't ask the right questions when we're young. So I thought he was single. Okay, single. And he said that was his friend. So at the time when we went to his house, he said that's his friend, and she was waiting for him, and I didn't think anything of it.
So in fact, he's pretty much lying, but you going for it.
Right, because I liked him. He was attractive.
All right, go ahead. What happened with the rest of the relationship?
So I'm going back.
Did you ever meet his family? Did he meet your family?
He didn't meet my family because, again, my mom is Jamaican. And to be honest, I thought it was best to bring someone when I'm ready to bring them home. Meaning that I'm not going to bring a casual person home. The person I'm going to bring that I think is, for her to look at. Maybe in hindsight, it would have been better to bring him home because she probably would have known that it wasn't going to work. So
I'm in agreement with you on that. Always bring him home first before you start doing anything with that person.
Right. So, I met his mom, but not under good circumstances. Because we didn't do anything in the beginning. In the beginning, I'll go watch TV, we did that. And then one day his mother came home. Unbeknownst to me, she didn't have keys to the door, so she was ringing the doorbell. I didn't know. So when his mother came home, she was like, "Oh my God, all you do." I met his mother after we had sex. I need to be fine about that. Because the reason why I said that is because when his mother came home, she broke on him. We wasn't having sex when she came home, but she was breaking. She's like, all you do is just lay up in my house and just be, excuse my language, just fucking around, and that's why you have all these children. And my mom was like, hold up. She said children.
Not just one child. He has children. And he never said anything to you at any time about any of this.
So, and I was like, first of all, I said, thank God I have my clothes on, because that would be embarrassing for her to come and find me naked. Second of all, she didn't say anything to me, so I didn't know how to take that. So when she finished, I said, you know what? I think it's time to go home. And he was like, don't listen to her. Just stay and chill. And I'm sitting there like, I'm going home. So I went home. I'm gonna just backtrack because the reason why I remember we had sex before that. So it just happened that one day I was over there, and I don't know. You know how I go, you kissing, next thing something's taken off, and then we have sex.
Okay, it happens like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and y'all in a relationship now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so y'all in a steady relationship. He's your boyfriend.
Right.
And you guys are trying to be committed to each other. How's it going? Is it going well?
Like I said.
In the beginning, was it going well?
It was going well, and then when his mom said that, it was like flag number 2. And then
you ran into the baby mama.
Right.
And then the mother says he has children.
Right. And
plural.
Then we spend the day with his child. And They always say the way a man treats his mother, you have to look into that. And that was flag number 3. So now I'm like, okay, I'm traveling. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. But doing all of this, I gave him my jewelry. I gave him my school ring and my necklace. So now I'm like, I need to get that back in this relationship. So the day that I went over to end it to get my stuff, I got stuck. I got stuck in his house. So
how you get stuck in somebody's house?
Remember that I live in Yonkers.
Okay.
The last train to Yonkers is at 12. So I didn't realize it was like really late. So I said, well, can you give me some money to go home? And I forgot to mention, and it's really bad, but we're all human. My money was missing the time I was there before that incident. So stupid me figured if I don't have no money, nobody could steal it. Because I don't know who took it. Because he had people in the house. So
in his house, you had your bag or your wallet or coat
right.
sitting down,
and money
somebody
was
went in there and stole your money.
And I'm gonna be honest, I thought it was him, but can't blame someone with no evidence. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. So this time coming to his house, I didn't bring any money with me, which was dumb because now I'm stuck. So he's like, well, why don't you just spend the night and go home tomorrow?
Did he give you your jewelry back?
No.
He never gave it back?
No. Because remember, that's how we ended that. To that night, we ended afterwards. Because I spent the night, I slept in the same bed with him. I'm sleeping and I feel a tap. Like, let's have some sex. And I'm like, I'm tired. And I rolled back and went to sleep. And then next thing I know, we're having sex.
You kind of just slid up and just started doing it.
Yeah.
Did you tell him no, you didn't want it?
Yeah, I did. But at the time I was young, so
you just let him do it.
Yeah. And then my mind was like, this is the last time we're going to do this.
So you just let him do what he had to do, keep the peace or whatever.
Yeah.
Get out of there safely.
So in the morning, I decided that, you know what, I can't do this anymore. So I asked him for my stuff. I said, I want my stuff back. And he's like, well, let's do it one more time before you go. I'm like,
this guy is crazy.
And I'm like, I don't want to have sex with you anymore. I just want my stuff so I can go. And he's like, if you don't get in here, I'm going to fuck you up. And I'm like, what did you say?
Oh, now he's threatening you for some.
Yeah. And I'm like, are you for real? And he's like, you here? You my woman? Come on.
So at this point, you must have not explained to him that you were breaking it off.
I didn't get a chance to because, like I said, I just wanted my stuff back. And I figured if I said I broke it off, he was going to give me back my stuff.
So you try to get the stuff back first.
Right. So, and then when he said that, I was like, I'm just going to let it go. Just keep it. And then I'm like, I'm out of here. I said, I'm not going to let any man threaten to put his hands on me. It's over. So I ended it. And
did you ever see him again after you ended it with him?
No.
So how old were you when this relationship ended? 23, 22?
I'm going to say 20.
20. So you still a young chicken?
I mean, let's see. I was 19 when I gave it up. So
you was with him about a year?
Yeah.
Well, year or so.
Yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, right.
And so it seems like he wasn't a good guy. He lied about his thing. He's, running in and out. Your stuff is being stolen. He kept your jewelry. He used some manipulation to have sex with you.
Right.
Seems like a pattern is being established with the men.
Right. And I got pregnant and I didn't know.
From this guy.
Mm-hmm. A lot of things happened with this guy.
That was the one you saying you thought he was going to be the one.
Yeah.
You were ready to be his wife and were you ready to submit to him? Before you found out he was an asshole. When you thought he was a good man.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Were you ready to submit to him and be his wife?
Yeah.
You was going to submit and cook and clean and be Betty homemaker if he desired that?
I was gonna be his wife.
And you were going to be expected to do that.
I mean,
and were you going to do it willingly? Like, is this
course.
something you wanted to do? Is what I'm trying to get to. You meet a guy like this one, right? And he's going to be a husband. Are you ready to submit to your man?
Use the word submit. I'm saying that I was going to do what my husband wanted. I didn't know the word is submit, but I'm saying that I wanted to marry one time. I'm saying I was a Catholic and you marry for life. And, you know, those was my beliefs there, that I saved myself for my husband, but at the same token, I didn't want, the reason why I had some of the experiences, because I didn't want to just go cold turkey. Because I thought at the time when I was young that if you got married and only had your husband, maybe down the road, I might wonder how it would have been if I had somebody else. So that was my thinking. Like, I guess some people, not judging, I'm saying for some people, they figured, let me have all my experiences now, like have different partners. And I'm not judging. For me, I just feel that men can have as many women as they want, but as a woman and I'm having sex with someone, he's coming into me, and you leave things in women. No one want to talk about that, but it's like every time you have sex with someone, they're leaving DNA in you. So for me, I didn't want all of that. I wanted that when I met my husband, for me, I'm not speaking for anyone else, that he know that I waited for him.
You saved him something that was uniquely his.
Right. Because, I mean, you can have sex with anybody you want, but this is mine. Like, you can't replicate me. And yes, it's true. Every woman has a vagina, but it's what you do with it and what you're comfortable. Because I've seen people that regret all the things that they've done sexually. I am okay. I mean, people judge me and feel like I should have had a whole bunch of sex, but I'm fine with that. I can tell you who I had sex with. I can count who I had sex with. And I don't have
counted
no STDs.
On hands, fingers, and toes.
Counted on a hand. Okay.
Counted on a hand.
Right.
Well, we know based on the interview that we've done thus far that you really only had it with one guy.
So far, I've had intercourse with one guy.
With one guy.
Right.
And you're 20.
Yes. I was 19.
19.
Right.
That's good. Usually they say people lose their virginity around 17. Right. So you made it way beyond that point, 2
but
years
beyond that point. But at the same token, I went through a lot of bullshit of men calling me names because I didn't pop it open. I've been called a lesbian. I've been called like I have no taste or I'm going to regret not having sex with people.
So they're trying to shame you into having sex. Can't make this up. See? Women are going through this on every level of the game, and men are just not understanding this conversation that we're having right now. But we move on from this guy. You're disappointed. He took your jewelry, stole your money, did all of this stuff he did. I know you left the relationship a little disappointed. Right.
And wondering, what did I do? What did I do wrong?
I don't know. You were making the trek 2 hours or so, 2.5 hours to come out and see
Maybe
him.
I shouldn't have done that. That's what I'm saying. Should I have traveled? Should I have made it an issue that we should have met somewhere in the middle? I don't know. I was young. But like I said, some of us learn lessons.
But he should have saw the value in you. I always say the man has to see the value. A woman is making this trek, coming out to see me. What am I thinking that means to me as a man? I'm thinking he's probably thinking rather that he's just going to get this girl out here, have sex with her, and he has no intention of being committed.
And what upset me was, as I said again, men get upset about women having abortions. And at that time, I knew that I had to be responsible for sex. And I made a mistake again. But we learned from this that he didn't have a condom. So again, knowing that I was going to have sex going down, I made sure that I used protection. So at the time, I don't think they really use it that much, but I got the sponge. And then